Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel, and welcome back to the review stage. So we're still in getaway mode, so to speak, so you're going to see a few videos from said stage, but I didn't want them to just be normal reviews. I wanted you to have something a little bit more interesting. So here's what I've done, and here's why you're just staring at my hands right now like this is an Ashens video. I went to Once Upon a Child, which if you don't have one in your area, it's basically a secondhand little kids store, mostly baby supplies, clothes, things like that. The kind of thing they grow out of within a year, but you still need to buy, so it's actually a really useful store for that. However, they also have children's toys, and every now and then, someone will leave them Transformers of various series, because what is like a child's Transformer to you or I may not be to them. Or, they might have gotten, a normal deluxe from a Generations line or a Studio series that ends up in a net and a plastic bag and labeled for $4.50 at said store. So I wanted to do like a quick run through. So I grabbed 2 bags for $8.50 each. So what you're about to see is what I got for like $17 total. Let me know how I did. Doesn't matter. I think I did pretty well. I'm happy with what I turned up with. But I wanted you to just see like the kind of rescuing that comes up. Now, when you do things like this, and this will happen at Goodwill as well, anytime they just bag up random Transformers, there are bound to be the scraps. So let me show you the scraps that came through. So, for starters, knockoffs are very common. So, geez, do you remember those like weird like military tank toy things that I found a while back at this point? So yeah, this is, I believe, from the same company, possibly the same toy line. It's supposed to be a helicopter. That's where the tail rotor is supposed to be. That's where the tail's supposed to be. That's where the rotor's supposed to be. Let's actually get those terms right. I'll transform what is here. In the midst of that, you will notice he has a stem for a combiner. Because, yes, they got ambitious, and they actually did, like, combination stuff with some of these. So, yeah, it might have been an okay, if very cheap-feeling helicopter toy at some point. He's very long-legged. Decent head sculpt as well. This is actually kind of a surprising figure. But, obviously, it's a knockoff. It's incomplete. Unfortunately, nothing we can do with it here. If we move on to other scraps, bada boom. Now, at first, I thought this might actually be a really decent, like, figure. Like, that's like a little mini knockoff Transformer. But it looks higher quality than that. Underneath, like, I can see legs, so it has some kind of transformation. So, this is half of what is essentially a Screecher's Wild. Though it seems to be, like, the modern version that's mostly sold by knockoffs on Amazon. I know that because I found this exact one on Amazon with, like, literally, like, a minute worth of research. So I don't think I have any way to... There we go. Apologies for the headphone users. So you can see where the front half, there's supposed to be a front half, another car that becomes, like, the front end of a dragon. Yeah, can't do a whole lot with that, unfortunately. And I'm not really worried about, like, completing this one and finding, like, the other half on eBay or something, because I think it's, like, $15 if I want the thing on Amazon. I really don't. I had them when they were a Chinese toy line, and no one in the U.S. had them. And they were fun then, but I've kind of gotten over it. So, scrap-wise, there was one Transformer thing that we can point out, and I'll be kind of sad about. That poor Lockdown, who will never be complete again. And this is the day where I realized that the Izer gimmick is actually terrible. So, remember that they didn't do Headmasters for years because they said, well, if you lose the head, you lose the toy. Well, what happens when your entire toy comes apart? Things like this. So, unfortunately, because this ended up in a child's hands, all of the limbs are lost. There's nothing really salvageable here. So, unfortunately, Lockdown is going to be put down, as it were. Really unfortunate, because, like, I wouldn't have minded having 2 of them if that's how this shook out. Now, we're going to get into some big ones. You'll excuse me, it's very hard to frame figures this big, so I'm just going to lay them on their side, so you'll just have to deal with it. But you'll see where we're getting into when we start getting into these. So for starters, we have this Optimus Prime. Now, it's the live action Optimus Prime, obviously, but it's from the original movies. But I couldn't even remember them doing like the Titan Changers, which this is the Titan Changer Optimus. I couldn't remember them doing them for like the first three movies. I didn't think they came in until later, like when they got more like kid oriented and gimmick happy. But you can see it's mostly all there. It's missing a wheel. If I was desperate, I could 3D print a replacement. Really, obviously, I am not. Here's what the thing, like one of the reasons why it's like kind of fun to go diving at these kind of stores and just picking up like a random bag of stuff is because the overall vibe you're going to get is a lot of toys you wouldn't normally grab. So, like, if you were curious about any of these, like, big, simple figures and just how cheap they really felt, well, you can go find these at one of these kind of stores and cover it for, and cover your curiosity for, like, maybe, like, $4.50. I think the general rule is, like, 3 of these, 4 if you're lucky, end up in the same little net bag for $8.50. Feels like once they can put 4 random Transformers in a bag, they put them out for that price. So, yeah, the Prime itself is, pretty crude and simple, very, unpainted, as it were. It's weird. There's design elements here that make me think The Last Night Optimus Prime, or Age of Extinction. That's what I thought this was. May just be mistaken. Maybe this really is just Age of Extinction. I'm just misremembering. Oh yeah, I see the 3 smokestacks. Okay, never mind anything I just said. I am an idiot who can't recognize movie designs. So I was right. These didn't come out until later. Oh well. Not that I really care for this design at all, but, maybe if I need it for a prop someday. If I just need like a super cheap looking Age of Extinction Optimus, there we go. Usually these will end up in a bin that I will take down to the toy shop, and like if there's a if there's a kid that wants it, I will give it to them. That's usually how these get recycled once they're done with the video. So we're gonna move into a few more of those, and as we go, you'll start to recognize what's going on. So, slam. Here's the Starscream. And it's a dramatically unpainted Starscream, as you can see from all the tech details and the Decepticon symbols there on the top. The weird thing is, like, the sculpting in the top actually feels familiar, like it's taken from a different Starscream. Like, I almost want to say, like, the vibe of the design here reminds me of, like, Power of the Prime's Starscream. It's been a while since I looked at that toy, but that's the vibe I'm getting. And I think that might also just be because these are both based on the Evergreen style of Starscream. The jet mode's fine. Tail fins are a little bit small. This one also has a minor break to it. You can see the tail fin is bent. I could warm that up and get it back into position without risking breaking it. But again, this is not really going to be a toy that I'm like super dedicated to fixing up. You can also see he's got 5mm ports for the guns that are no longer here. Transform him really quick too. So unpeg the arms, fold nose cones in like that, raise that, clicks in, kinda. Fold all that up, and there we have the Starscream in landscape mode. This one, okay, I will admit, like, it's not bad looking. Again, like, super long legs. I don't know what it is with all these with super long legs, but okay, like, this one wasn't bad. This one's okay-ish. It makes for a decent little display piece because there is enough painted there to really get Starscream across. You can see just like how hollowed out these are. If you've never seen how hollowed out an authentic figure is, there you go. We're still in Titan Changers though, because Now we have to bring out some others. And now you're going to kind of recognize what happened. Someone traded in what is essentially what's left of their 4-pack, the Target exclusive 4-pack, where 2 of them were from Transformers 1 and the other 2 were just repaints from previous lines. Yeah, that's what I ended up buying. So there's no Megatron, so we'll do the Bumblebee after this. 1 Optimus Prime looking unfortunate there in the rear. I never like when they do this where it shows like the holo in the vehicle mode. That always feels like a failure to me. But again, easy enough to transform. Let's pop some spots here just to open things up. Again, obviously I'm not concerned with like proper order of operation when it comes to these things. So I will just mash plastic until it forms the shape of a robot. How about that? And sometimes I'll pop things off of the joint. Let me get this back on so I don't look like an idiot. Hang on. Back onto the mushroom pig. There we go. It does raise a point. Do you think like someday there's going to be like a super valuable collector market for these things? Because these aren't going to be someone's nostalgia. Someone is going to grow up with these as toys and miss them once they are an adult, no matter how bad they are. I like the one big uniwheel in his crotch, by the way. There we go. Again, long-legged. But no, like, because these things are so cheaply made, like, you see, like, yeah, he is just a hollow shell. He's half of a pretender. But because these are so cheaply made, they're very hard to keep intact, which makes me wonder, in, like, 20, 30 years, how valuable is a fully intact one going to be? Because it's so hard to keep them in that state. Oh, well. Again, it's a nice little display piece if you only look at it from the front. It makes a decent little 1 Optimus Prime for a cheap price. You know, it's at least fun to figure these things out and see just like how cheap a Transformer can get. I know when we love to complain about like how budgeted major Transformers are getting, it's kind of refreshing to go and see just how cheap it can possibly be, you know? Gets a perspective in there. So, here's the Bumblebee. Now, vehicle mode's fine. Like, that actually just looks like a decent little take on the vehicle mode. Obviously not entirely painted, but there's enough there to at least, you know, satisfy the aesthetic. So I'll give it that. Let me get Bumblebee transformed as well. Man, imagine if I could get through toy reviews this quickly normally. Have any idea how much of your time I would save? Instead of just being super long-winded and telling you a whole bunch of stuff you don't need and being repetitive. There we go. So Bumblebee's complete, because there's really nothing else that comes with Bumblebee. I don't like the unileg thing. I wish that plastic in the middle was painted black. That way that actually looked like 2 legs. Wouldn't have looked great. I'm probably not going to, like... Oh yeah, that would have matched. That would flow in the vehicle, in the robot, in the vehicle mode too. Never mind. Paint that black. I don't really care enough about any of these to kind of like customize them, fix them up, or anything like that. But at the very least, I could probably see myself like painting this in black with just like a paint pen, just to see if it actually improves how it looks. I don't know. This one's fine. It's long-legged. Again, I don't know why they always end up with super long legs. His arms end up like weirdly forward on his chest because like the ball socket for it is in the right spot on the torso, but it's not in the right spot on the arm because it went toward the back, not toward the front. That looks a little bit weird. A little bit weird. That's probably the better of the four that I have though. You know, that's, you know, that actually just, you know, again makes a nice Bumblebee. The vehicle mode's nicer than the others. Now, if you've seen the videos where I've rescued toys from these cheap shops before, then you'll know one of the things I like to grab when I see them, one of the reasons why I go after bags like this, is because of rescue bots. So, weirdly enough, even though I've never seen the show, I've never sat down to actually like pay attention to it much, I find myself really enjoying these as like fidget toys. So I've actually gained quite a few of them, and I think I've gotten all of them from like Once Upon a Child, Goodwill, etc. I don't think I've ever paid more than like $3 for one, honestly. So that continues. So Blades here is pretty neat. I like Blaze. You have to pop his tail in order for his automorph to work. So just straighten out his arms like that. I love how the dome opens and closes. That's actually kind of neat. Little Pac-Man. Little Pac-Man. Yeah, that's actually a neat little trick. And okay, I like him. He obviously has some paint wear. All of the ones you're going to see at these stores have paint wear. But the fun thing is to realize that these toys were meant to be played with by like pre-kindergartners, meaning they are like designed to take hits. They are designed, I apologize for that. That was very, very aggressive of me. But yeah, they're designed to actually take a hit from a kid and actually still be functional, you know? So, kind of cool to see that. Kind of cool. So yeah, like I said, I'm learning to appreciate gimmick toys. Yeah, I know. I guess I'm just getting bored with standard action figures sometimes. So, that one was fine. That one was neat. I'm going to reposition my camera and apologize again for being a little too aggressive. But here's the one that was surprising. So here's Heatwave using their F1 car mold. They used this a few times. It was used for Whirl as well, but you can also find it as Starscream on Amazon right now. Then there's another one that's Bumblebee too. So they've done this type of car more than once. But I do really like the look of it. And then the transformation again. So you have to unclip that and then spread the arms out. But doing that also flips the feet up. So you have like, takes a spoiler to the back, which actually together is a really neat trick. It's actually a really neat transformation for like a little one step. And I like the illusion that the spoiler creates to Heatwave's traditional fire engine mode. You know, it looks like the ladder is still behind him. That's a really neat figure. Like, I'm surprised at how much I like this one. It gets me thinking, like, man, if they just like went to just like basic like Cybertron level articulation again and design toys like this, where they're not overcomplicating what part goes where, it's just this like the toy just like transforms by opening up and then there's your robot. I wouldn't mind it. Because like this still comes up looking like a really decent robot. So even if they like did a manual transformation to make it like a full-fledged deluxe, I think I'd still be into this design. I think I would still be into it. So yeah, neat. So yeah, I think my big thing when it comes to those stores is rescuing rescue bots. So we've done a couple more of those. But the one that shocked me, and this is like the kind of thing that you normally go toy hunting in stores like this for. And we'll admit, it's a fixer-upper, but I think I'm willing to try. Look at who I found in one of those bags. Out of nowhere. So, obviously, look at the stickers and the translucent window. Obviously, yeah, this is vintage. It's not a reissue. I mean, and, like, the rub symbol works. Despite its age, its rub symbol works. This is a legit Transformer. This is not a knockoff. Yep, see, unfold. The transformation still works. Now, the chrome has definitely seen better days, and the right leg is a little bit loose on the hip. But other than that, like it's, and obviously the horn's missing. But other than that, it's surprisingly held up. Like typically on a bombshell, I would expect the bug legs to be broken on the arms. But the arms are actually still pretty tight, all things considered. This one, something I rarely do, but I'm considering it. I might fix this up. Because I have a vintage Kickback in my Decepticon shelf, but he's the only Insecticon I have. So, if I happen to find, like, a bombshell on eBay with broken arms, a missing torso window, something of that nature to where, like, the horns and the thighs are still in good shape, I think I would be willing to buy them and give this guy a repair job. You know, look at him. Like, missing parts. Look at how heavily worn the chrome is on the legs. This toy gave some kid a lot of fun. Someone really, really liked this toy. It's, you know, like the stickers being worn the way they are, like the chrome wear, that tells a story. So I think it is appropriate, like, after being enjoyed so thoroughly and then abandoned in a thrift shop, I think it's appropriate that this guy be given a retirement amongst, a proper Transformer collection. So I might try to dig up the parts to fix him up, maybe. But for now, yeah, he's earned a well-deserved rest. And that's pretty much what we got. So yeah, it's the kind of fun that I just go out of my way for sometimes. It's like, because you never know what you're going to find. Because this is the same Once Upon a Child that had like an entire bag of like intact working Armada toys. Crazy things that you find sometimes. Like, who thought I would find, a 40-year-old Transformer there? Craziness. So, that was the rescue. So, hope you enjoyed that. I mean, it's a fun little grab bag of things. And, as usual, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.